Amnesia Machine for Pigs is the most divisive of this Amnesia series. It had the benefit of being a follow-up to Amnesia The Dark Descent, guaranteeing it would be played no matter what, but it also had the massive problem that it was, yes, a sequel to Amnesia, meaning it had the biggest shoes to fill that it wasn't ever really going to live up to. When it comes to the series, Dark Descent and recently The Bunker are the most lauded and preferred for Amnesia. MP4/Rebirth are the most disliked for being essentially walking simulators. But like I said in my Dark Descent video, depending on who you ask, that's how all of these games are anyway, even Soma.
Okay, great.
Except for The Bunker. The Bunker is one of the greatest survival horror games ever made. Fight me, please go play The Bunker if you don't play any other Amnesia game. So how does this one hold up so many years later? Is the machine one of mankind's greatest inventions, or do all the little piggies deserve the eternal meat grinder of shame? MP4, yes, that's how I'm shortening it, was developed by the Chinese Room, makers of Dear Esther, arguably the game to really blame for walking simulators if you hate that genre, and most recently, Still Wakes the Deep, another horror game walking simulator, though it's gotten high praise, so no complaints on that front. I haven't played Still Wakes the Deep yet, but it is on my list because it looks absolutely insane. There's no way to beat around this bush, but yes, Machine for Pigs is a walking simulator. Now, I get scared easily, so going through this again after 10 years or so, I was spooked, but chances are, if you aren't easily scared like I am, you won't be here. There's a section where you literally follow the rails. The real thing that drives Machine for Pigs is its narrative. To get the basics out of the way, you play Oswald Mandis, wealthy industrialist man about town, a guy who brings home the bacon. You get a call from the engineer of your factory saying your kids have gone missing down in the bowels of the great machine that runs the entire operation. Dazed, confused, and with amnesia, you start your dark descent trying to uncover the mysteries surrounding your life and hoping to find your children.
Mandus, do you know me?
Who are you? Where are my children?
Trapped, Mandus. Far below us. The machine is fouled. It is breached. It is flooded. The bulkheads are down. The children are encaged. If you help me, I can help you release them. Restore the power, Mandus. Drain the flooding and restart the great engines.
How? Where should I go? Hello?
I loved this story. I've said this before, but I personally think all of the Amnesia games, including Soma, have really good stories. Sure, they are confusing at times, but written well, and even though Frictional Games didn't develop Machine for Pigs and only published it, I actually think the team at the Chinese Room did an alright job pulling off that amnesia feeling, even if its scares are scarce. Sound design in horror games is key. There's plenty of jump scare stingers, of course, but the monsters sound scary, and the key of Amnesia is its atmosphere. MP4 oozes atmosphere in droves, and the visuals would be nice if it weren't so weird. For whatever reason, it looks like someone forgot to turn off whatever the hell this post-processing effect is, and it just makes the game look absolutely awful. If you think YouTube compression is bad watching this normally, just watch a playthrough of Machine for Pigs, and trust me, it's really, really bad here. I don't know who was thinking this, but it was a bad idea. I have bad enough eyes as it is, and it just makes it worse. Turning up the brightness only makes the effect worse. There's no fixing it. And if there is, I don't know how. This game would be just as pretty as The Dark Descent, or as the rest of the series for that matter, but because you have this weird lighting, it's just plain ugly, and it really, really sucks, because you can tell there's an attractive art direction here with all the cool industrial steampunk stuff going on, but nope, all thrown out the window with this awful lighting effect or fog or whatever it is.
You don't mind if I record this, do you? I find it most useful.
Ah, you have one of those wonderful Demartin-Bills. No, of course not, my dear fellow.
It's my own design, Professor, along with everything you see.
Most useful. You understand, of course, why the Ministry sent me. That they have concerns.
Hello?
Precious eagle cactus fruit. Help us.
The voice acting is great, so no complaints there. They got a couple of Hollywood actors this time around due to a bigger budget, but yeah, good voice acting, good job. Much like its predecessor, the main gameplay loop focuses on walking around, reading notes to learn more about the narrative, listening to audio diaries this time around, flipping switches for environmental puzzles, I say that very lightly, and occasionally running away from monsters. Instead of stitched together otherworldly creatures, it's pig people. And that's really it. There's no resource management with tinders because you can't light anything up. Your lantern doesn't need oil this time around because it's electric because of the Industrial Revolution, making it just like any other flashlight in video game history. There is no sanity system this time around, which is fine by me because I hated it in Dark Descent, and in its place, the lights flash to indicate enemies are nearby. Frictional would use this mechanic again in the bunker, and it turned out simply amazing. And they even used it a little bit in Soma, though slightly different, if that makes sense. I think excluding it here failed because people were expecting it, but given how few scares there are here, it's also really not needed. Story time. This is your spoiler warning, so go here please to skip it. Timestamps are down below for everything including the ending of this video, so you can skip around if you wish. And this is a pretty hefty one, so let's get into it. I'll give everybody a couple of minutes to go and do the timestamp thing, or stay here if you want. This is your warning. Spoiler warning. Spoilers have been warned. Oswald Mandis is a horrible person.
Hands are bleeding, raw. I scrub and scrub, but the smell will not lift. How can I hold my children with these hands now? How can I kiss them goodnight with lips that have issued such instruction?
For starters, if you haven't caught it by now, Oswald Mandis is a play on Ozymandias, or Ozymandias, however you pronounce it, and that should easily give away what this plot entails. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. In the late 1890s, Mandis intended to expand and update his factory with new machinery to make his product lines more efficient and safer for his workers. Pretty good boss if you ask me. But this decision had dire consequences. He invested too heavily in his machines with no immediate returns, and the bank refused credit, condemning him for squandering the family fortune. Mandis faced financial ruin and feared it was only a matter of time before the bailiffs would come to repossess his home and all of his goods, including his once lucrative business. Desperate, he began to look through his great-uncle's paperwork and made startling revelations of vitae from Castle Brennenburg and the mystical orbs, which is exactly why all the Brennenburg paraphernalia shows up throughout Machine for Pigs. Not understanding their function or origins fully, Mandis saw these as business opportunities, because of course he did, miraculous power sources that would quicken the development of his business and save him from bankruptcy. In early 1899, Mandis left for Mexico and brought along his children, big mistake, the twin boys Edwin and Enoch Mandis. From his great-uncle's notes, he had learned the whereabouts of an Aztec temple, the Temple of the Stone Moon, that housed an orb, though the native people he met were confused and baffled as to how he came upon such knowledge. In February 1899, Mandis arrived at the temple and a while later recovered the orb by the help of his children, who referred to the orb as a stone egg.
Come on, Papa. Let's climb this one. I can see more pictures at the top. This way, Papa. Come and see. Will it hatch? Can we take it home?
Yes, my darlings. Of course we can take it home.
The orb, containing impossible knowledge, revealed the future to Mandus. He saw the doom his beloved children would face, and he would be powerless to stop it. World War I. Driven insane by this vision, Mandus decides to spare his children, this horrid future, by sacrificing them on the temple steps. Mourning and cursing the world, he took the boys' skulls back to Britain, returning to London by mid-March as a fever contracted while there in Mexico overtook him.
Boys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And, emerging, I raised my head to an uncaring sun, and I cursed this world of pain and despair. This civilization built on the ricketed bones of the unfortunate, on the greed and swell of mammon and empire. Cradling a stone egg in my jacket, I kissed my children farewell, and I crawled my way home. This dawning epoch, this age of reason, an empire grown fat, ripe for the bleeding.
Mandus, hating all of humanity for his debt problems, the death of his wife, the church, the bank, all of it, built the titular machine for pigs within his own house, and would have lavish dinner parties in honor of his wife, but would be sacrificing all the rich elites to said machine, and turn the poor and other wretches of humanity into pigmen that chase us the entire game. The pigs have the intelligence of children? The pigs have the intelligence of children, basically, so it could be that Mandus looks at them as, like, surrogate child replacements for his own sacrificed kids. The machine is also sentient.
And you came then to London, and you set me upon a mantelpiece, and then you went into the house and gathered the servants, and reset you and I on recrafting them, and then you went into the garden and buried those tiny shattered skulls alone. For your children, Mandus, to spare them the world you have created. For us all.
The machine is actually another side of Mandus, the bad side. His soul fractured possibly when his wife died, possibly when he killed his kids, possibly when he found the orb, or maybe all of the above, and the bad part of his soul resides within the great machine. So the good part of Mandus sabotages the machine, but waking up with amnesia reactivates the machine, and then we stop it again, sacrificing ourselves to save the humanity we hate. Character arc, full circle, yada yada yada.
Your children, Mandus, you sacrificed them on the temple steps, knowing what the coming century would do to them. Your sons will drown, lungs full of mud and shrapnel on the banks of the Somme. You wanted to save them from the horror to come. That is the vision we share. Everything we have built to avert this coming nightmare. You and I are one. We are the same. Our souls are entangled. We deserve to let them free. I have stood knee-deep in mud and bone and filled my lungs with mustard gas. I have seen 2 brothers fall. I have known with holy wars and copulated with the autumnal fallout. I have dug trenches for the refugees. I have murdered dissidents where the ground never thaws and starved the masses into fame. A child's shadow burnt into the brickwork. A house of skulls in the jungle. The innocent Mandus trod and bled and gassed and starved and beaten and murdered and enslaved. This is your coming century. They will eat the Mandus. They will make pigs of you all, and they will bury their snouts into your ribs, and they will eat your hearts.
You can tell that Mandus fractured his soul, and it's not really a clear giveaway because I had to go to the wiki to read exactly what this story explained after having it for 10 years, but the professor who's interviewing him, even though it's a different voice actor, sounds incredibly close to Mandus's voice actor. You also have the engineer, i.e. his evil soul, played by another voice actor, who is still, a part of Mandus. So this is rather philosophical horror than psychological horror or survival horror.
You don't mind if I record this, do you? I find it most useful.
Ah, you have one of those wonderful Martinvilles. No, of course not, my dear fellow.
It's my own design, Professor, along with everything you see.
Most useful. You understand, of course, why the Ministry sent me. That they have concerns. Extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. And you built it all. Good God, man. You have been busy.
It is wonderful how tragedy focuses the mind. What else was I to do? Fall into grief, pine and fade in my hopelessness? Why not then simply die in that jungle amongst those dead temples? These men, Professor, these so-called men of vision, they would shackle the masses to a wheel and turn it till their backs break. All for that opiate, the lure of profit. These fools who lackey them, these priests, these officials, this government. They make pigs of us all.
But what solution, my dear man? How to break a cycle? You cannot simply remove the promise of a better world for these unfortunates. In the workhouses, in the orphanages, the belief in heaven is surely the only succor one can find.
We do not need to wait. We can bring forth paradise now. We can speed the passion. With only a small sacrifice, we can hold the apocalypse. With just a small sacrifice, we can free our shackles and deliver them to paradise now.
I can meet him, your great engineer. How marvelous. I must say, Mr. Mandus, my excitement is almost unseemly.
Yes, I can see that. Step this way, Professor. I will be right behind you.
Mandus? Mandus, where the devil are you? I can't see a damn thing. Mandus!
We are the pig, Professor. We are all the pig.
The narrative is the best part here. It is a bit confusing in some parts though, but the philosophical horror that's on display here is compelling to me rather than your typical survival horror. And the ending speech is just so good. This is one of those games that where once you come back to it so long after, even if you don't remember a damn thing like me, you are still sort of enthralled by it. The story of Mandus slowly descending into madness, recovering his soul, essentially his good soul, and then realizing he's actually the main villain of the entire game is pretty damn mind-boggling. I would say it's on the level of BioShock, but at the exact same time, you sort of expected a twist here because it was in the first Amnesia game. And that's the whole problem that I have with this series, much like BioShock, is that once you know there's a twist, you're going to expect a twist every single new game. Alright, I could blab on about this forever, but maybe that'll be another video in the future. I don't know. Let's wrap this up. In conclusion, I liked Machine for Pigs, and I loved the story, even if it is incredibly mechanically underwhelming. If you have no desire to play this, I suggest a movie version on YouTube, of course, like I always do, because the story is actually really good in my opinion. But if you do want to play it, MP4 goes on sale for a literal $1 or something on Steam or GOG. It's dirt cheap. I definitely think if you haven't played the Amnesia games by now, Amnesia 1, Machine for Pigs, and Rebirth, I would argue, are the cheapest when they're on sale. And I think you can pick up the entire Frictional Games collection for like $20 tops, maybe $30. And that is a damn good bang for your buck with how long these games are. They're pretty lengthy if you're kind of slow like me. And, you have 7 or so games-ish that are, a good length that you'll pretty much delve into, and it's a good thing. Just go play these games already or watch a movie version. With all that said, me blabbing forever, I've been Calypso. If you like this video, like this video. If you dislike this video, dislike this video, and I will see you in the next one.
Oh, I had no idea you brought him.
I didn't want him to be lonely.
I know, my heart. It's good for him to have an adventure, but he'll be glad when this journey's over, I think. He's had a hard life.
And there's so much more to come.
Alex?
Him.
Jasmine, get up here! Hello. Algiers. Can anyone read me?